Fellas, what is up? Welcome back to the Ball Don't Lie podcast with your boy Etienne. Appreciate you tuning in. This is episode 21. Is the mic working? Hopefully the mic's working. What's up, people? I'm in a new setting. I'm closer to my Wi-Fi, so hopefully the Wi-Fi works better than it has in the past few weeks. It's a little choppy right now, but we're trying something new. We're trying to upgrade the quality of the show here. Appreciate y'all tuning in. We got Malik, of course. We got Shift God, the GOAT. We got John. We got Phil. We got everybody in here. The GOATs. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Well, here you go. Growing the hair out long. There you go, Phil. There you go. All right. We got a good show. We got a good show for you guys today. NFL head coaches tier list. We've been doing tier lists for the past couple of weeks. We've done quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, teams, offenses. Now we're doing head coaches. Looks good. You look older. Appreciate it. I like that. This will probably be the last tier list I do. I might do another one. But this should be fun. This should be good. First of all, how was your guys' weekend? Because this is the first show I've done since the weekend. Obviously, Memorial Day on Monday. How was the weekend? How are we doing? Let's check in. And make sure you like the stream as well for your boy. How are we doing? How are the vibes? I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good personally. Weekend was a weekend. There you go. Hey, get that physics done. No, I just put it on the top of my computer, like I always do. Hell yeah. Let's go. Lovely. Really? Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Hopefully the Wi-Fi is a little better. Really hope it is. Fishing is hot. Never been fishing. I should go. I'm watching Russell and myself. All good, Xavier. All good. Appreciate you even tuning in. Even if it's for 2 minutes. It's appreciated, my man. It's appreciated. Gotta make sure you like the stream for your boy. I know, never. Yeah, I gotta try it. Wi-Fi good? Nice. Okay. It keeps saying it's unstable in the top left. Yeah. There you go. This isn't my room. I'm in a new location. I'm closer to my Wi-Fi package, so that's why I'm down here. Usually in another room, and doesn't seem to be making much of a difference. So that's fun. Yeah, I've seen he's into fishing. Well, let's get into this tier list. We got 6 people here. Let's go. Make sure you like the stream for your boy. Let's get into this tier list. Head coaches. I'm sure this will not be controversial in any way. I'm sure we're all going to be on the same page, 1,000,000,000%, as usual with these lists. There's going to be absolutely zero disagreements. And yeah, that's just how it's going to be. All right, let's pull this thing up. Hey, that's dope, Phil. There we go. Reminds me of Lucas. Yeah, trust me. I saw. Yeah, that was some crazy stuff from Mr. Anakin. But okay, here are the tiers. So I need you guys' help with some. So I've done elite, borderline elite, then great, solid, unknown, and then just bad. I'm wondering if I should change this, like go from borderline elite to great, and then make this really good, or if I should just keep it at borderline elite and great. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Should I keep the same, or should I make the second to top one great? Okay, well, I'll probably do the opposite of that then, Anakin. Phil, what do you think? Malik, everyone else. Are the tiers as good as they are? Are they good as they are currently? Oh, Jesus Christ. The Thunder are kicking the shit out of the Timberwolves. Damn. Tiers are fine. All right, cool. I'll listen to Malik. Depends. Go refit. If we want to, it's like 73 to 43, Anakin. If we want to change in the middle of it, we could do it. But yeah, they shit the bed in the conference finals last year as well. I love Ant, but he's got to get over that hump. All right, let's get into this. AG has got to be unknown. I mean, we should. We're putting Ben Johnson in unknown as well. That's the only fair way to do it. I actually think Aaron Glenn moves me more as a motivator and a leader of men. I do think that Ben Johnson's X's and O's nature is very intriguing. It'll be interesting to see this commercial in the bottom right. Hold up. Hang on a minute, fellas. That is weird. All right. I think Ben's X's and O's are intriguing, but I still have to see whether he's going to be like a Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, or like a Josh McDaniel. So I'm putting them in unknown. Andy Reid elite. If you disagree, probably shouldn't be watching football. He's won 3 Super Bowls. The winningest coach currently in the league. Offensive mastermind. Did well with Philly as well. Been doing it a long time. This one really has it's pretty self-explanatory. Hey, we got Tyler in the chat. What's up, Tyler? We put AG in unknown for the head coach tier list. Okay, next up. Is that Callahan? I feel like Callahan's a bit of an unknown right now. You could probably put him in solid or bad. I'll make this below average. You know what? We'll add an extra. You know what? I got an idea. We'll make this below average. Then we'll add a completely new tier. And we'll make a different color. And then we'll call this one the Schottenheimer tier. Schottenheimer. Is that how you spell his name? Brian Schottenheimer. Yeah, okay, that's what we'll do. I'll put Callahan in below average right now. It will be interesting to see what he does with Cam Ward. Obviously didn't have really. I mean, he had Will Levis as his quarterback last year. I'm not going to fully judge a player solely off of that. Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see what he does with Cam. He was a good OC. Better his own care smells like piss. Yeah. I might make that a tier in honor of Xavier D. But he did good as the OC of Cincinnati with Burrow, but he still has to prove some stuff as a head coach for me. So he's there. I think Brian Dable is a solid head coach. I'm putting him here. I think he's been done over by terrible quarterback play, terrible organizational dysfunction. He made Daniel Jones $160 million. Just for that alone, I think and he was a really good OC with Allen. I think if you gave Brian Dable some real good quarterback play and like an actual front office that could support him, I think you'd see a really solid, good head coach. So I'm going to put Brian Dable there. He has been subject to bad luck. I do agree with that. Yeah, we'll see if Dart hopefully Dart turns out good for them. Yeah, I would agree with that. Next up, oh shit, is that Schottenheimer? All right, well, he's in the Schottenheimer tier, pretty self-explanatory. Oh Christ, Dan Campbell. I think Dan Campbell is here personally. I think he's great. I'm thinking like borderline elite is like you're right on the cusp. You're like between 3 and 5. I think Dan Campbell's a top 10 head coach, which is why he's in the great. I have some questions about his game management late in games, like the NFC Championship, the not taking a timeout against the Commanders, and I will let you guys put your input. Where do you think Dan Campbell is as a coach? I thought you said you thought he was elite, Anakin. You're kind of backpedaling a little bit, my friend. That is true, Dial. That's true. Love Dan Campbell as a motivator. Love him as a leader of men. He's a guy that I'd want to play for sure. But he isn't one of these offensive gurus like a McVay or a Shanahan. And I do think that in those big moments, he has come up short. Like in the 24-7 game, I put that loss mainly on Dan Campbell for his lack of, you know, not control of the game, but like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, you just kick the field goal, and I get you want to be aggressive, but I feel like there's times where he, in those big moments, that's what's holding him back. I'd put MCDC in borderline elite. Hey, there's someone that agrees with you, Anakin. I don't hate that take. I think great is like your top 10, and borderline elite, and to me is like 3 to. You'll see the names I put in there, and then we'll decide with Dan. But I think Dan's good. I don't think he's as good as Lions fans, as some of you Lions fans say. I think he needs to prove as well that he can do it without Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn. We've seen coaches win with multiple sets of coordinators. Dan Campbell has yet to prove that, but I think he will. Yeah, I think Dan's great. I just think he needs to be better in those moments in the playoffs. I don't think he gets enough criticism. If Nick Sirianni, I mean that's not saying much, Anakin. If Nick Sirianni made some of the coaching mistakes that Dan Campbell has made, the whole country would be ripping into him. So I think it's fair for me to criticize Dan Campbell a little bit. Dan Quinn, I think Dan Quinn is in that same tier. I think he's around a top 10, top 12 head coach. Been with Super Bowl with the Falcons, absolutely shit the bed in that Super Bowl, which is something that he still needs to make amends for. But what he did with that Washington team last year was really good. He came in, set a culture, hired a great staff, and that I will say that is one thing that I will give credit to Dan Campbell for is hiring a great staff. He has done that. We'll see if he can do it again with John Morton and Kelvin Shepard. And he would still get criticized. He would still get Nick Sirianni would get absolutely torn apart if he blew a 24-7 lead in the NFC Championship. Sam Lyon, and that's a fact. Yeah, I love Dan Quinn. He's got the Dan Campbell aggressive nature as well. So I think him and Dan Campbell are actually very similar as head coaches. One of them's offensive minded, one of them's defensive minded, but they're both great motivators. They're both culture guys. They both had a lot of success in the league. I agree with that. I think Quinn and Dan Campbell are in a similar tier to me. I love Dan Quinn. Who is that? Is that Dave Canales? I feel like Canales is a bit. I'm gonna put him. It's either unknown or solid. Maybe here. I know Malik's in the chat, and you're a big Panthers guy. Where would you put Dave Canales? I think what he did with, obviously, proved his worth as an OC. Came in solid. Okay. He was starting to make it work with Bryce Young towards the end of the season. He's a great offensive mind. We'll see how he does in this upcoming season. But I'm going to put Dave Canales there. I like him as an offensive mind. And like I said, he did. That Panthers offense looked pretty good towards the end of the season. So I think that's a fair placement for Canales, sleeper for Coach of the Year. I don't necessarily hate that. I don't necessarily hate that at all. DeMeco Ryans, I think he's a great coach as well. Duval is over here. D'Amico Ryans, what he's done in Houston's terrific. Great defensive mind. Has that defense playing elite football. Got them to the playoffs in year one as a coach with a rookie quarterback. Very impressive. His game management at the end of the Chiefs game was a little bit questionable, but he's giving you results. He has a great defensive mind. I think he's a great motivator, great team leader. I think he is one of the better coaches in the league. I really like D'Amico Ryans. Just to step back on roster health. As far as like offensive line or like players that are injury prone, you mean? Yeah. Okay. Now I get what you're saying. Yeah. That's what I think the problem was last year. I don't think it was a D'Amico Ryans problem. I think D'Amico Ryans is the right head coach for them. Jim Harbaugh. I think Jim Harbaugh is in the great tier as well. Could argue borderline elite. With Jim. I really could see that argument. I might put him there. Again, terrific offensive mind. Has had a lot of success in the league. I'm excited to see what he does with Justin Herbert. Harbaugh to me is borderline elite. I don't hate that take, Tyler. I'm tempted to put him there. I really am. Yeah, he did great with San Fran. D'Amico and Grape, I feel like I'm lower on him than most people. That is fair. I think he, in terms of his team speeches and when I hear him talk, he does seem like a good culture guy. But yeah, that is something that he does need to clean up as well. That's a good point. I forgot to bring that up. Yeah, you know what? Why not? And I think Dan Campbell's right on the edge of borderline elite. I just some of the late game blunders are just, I don't know. But yeah, Jim's just a great football coach. To Tyler's point, he understands fundamentals at a very high level, great offensive mind, great culture guy. He checks all the boxes. The only thing he hasn't done is win a Super Bowl championship. Ooh, John Harbaugh. I feel like you got to put John Harbaugh on borderline elite, right? The two Harbaughs. Too soon to tell on MCD. See, that's fair. I think because I will give him credit. It is only he's entering his 5th year as a coach. Even, a lot of, how many coaches have won a Super Bowl within 5 years of coaching? Not many. So I'm talking about Jim. John Harbaugh has a Super Bowl. Jim doesn't, correct? Jim made it there and then lost. They faced each other in the Harbaugh Bowl. Both Harbaugh's borderline. Yeah, I think John's starting to slip a little bit. I feel like they could be. I feel like, yeah, okay. I feel like there's kind of a little bit of an energy around Baltimore that they might need to start fresh soon with John because they haven't really gotten over that hump. But he has won a Super Bowl and has kept the Ravens afloat for a very long time. That I feel like you have to pay him that respect and put him in borderline elite. And a really good culture guy. Man, Jim is a funny guy. John overall is bored. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm a little. He needs to get over that hump, and I feel like there are times where, yeah, that is true. I'm not. I feel like John's closer to here than he is to elite. I feel like he's closer to great than to elite. But I'm still going to pay him the respect he deserves. Jonathan Gannon. I think Gannon's in solid right now. I think that's a fair tier. I think he's a really good defensive mind. He has that defense in Arizona playing pretty solid, despite not really having a ton of talent on that defense. He is a bit corny, but that's fine. The next step is getting those results and getting the Cardinals into the playoffs. Because if he doesn't get them into the playoffs, I feel like he'll start to be on the hot seat a little bit. But he's a good defensive mind. Gannon cooks how Gannon cooks. Hey, exactly. Kellen Moore, unknown. I don't think Kellen Moore is that good, to be honest. I think he's a bit of an overrated OC. when he left Dallas, their offense was still the number one offense in the league. And I know he operated a good offense this year in Philly, but there were still times where his play calling was suspect. I think Kellen Moore, I need to see it. I need to see with Kellen Moore. I think he's going to be in for a rough time with the Saints, and that could be a rough time for him. Kevin O'Connell, he's great. Could see an argument for borderline elite with Kevin O'Connell. I love Kevin O'Connell. I'm a big fan of Kevin O'Connell. I love his offensive pedigree. Thank you, Malik. Thank you. I don't as an OC, he's not close to he's solid, but he's not Ben Johnson. He's not even when Liam Cohen was an OC. I don't hate the borderline elite shout for Kevin O'Connell. I think he's really, really good. But I feel like he's in that tier, the coaching tree. That is fair. And that is, I did give Dan credit for that a few minutes ago, which is why I could see an argument for him being here. I don't know. It's those playoff blunders for me. I can attribute, not entirely, but I do think that he has been partially responsible for a couple of them, like that when he didn't call a timeout when there's too many men on the field. That's a blunder, right? Same with the 24/7. Same with the onside kick against Buffalo. He has his moments. I get it evens itself out. But like I said, I think Campbell and Kevin O'Connell are both in a similar realm as far as they're right there. That's fair. It is also not just a head-to-head sport. I think Sam Darnold being his quarterback and Nick Mullins being his quarterbacks does matter a bit. I do agree with that, Malik. That's the next step for Kevin O'Connell, is getting that playoff success. But as an offensive mind, he's already won 13 games twice, and he's been a coach for 3 years. He had a great year with Sam Darnold. If he can turn J.J. McCarthy into a really good quarterback and start putting some playoff wins together, I think he could get into borderline elite. I think him and Dan are in a similar tier for me. I think Kevin's a better offensive mind. I can attribute more of their offensive success to him, but I think Dan Campbell's definitely the culture guy. With Dan Campbell is really the selling point. Ooh, Stefanski. Shit, I'm going to have to put Stefanski in solid for now. I like Stefanski a lot. I think he's similar to Dable, as in he's been dealt a pretty shitty hand. Good offensive mind. Did win 11 games with Cleveland, which is very hard to do. I know that shit was crazy. He looked shook. But the results have to start coming before I put Stefanski. Yeah, we don't have KFC in a borderline elite. I think Stefanski's solid. I think, again, like I said, similar to Dable. I think he's been dealt a bit of a terrible hand with his quarterbacks. Hopefully they get him a quarterback. Hopefully they get him an actual team. I'd say above average, in my opinion. I think he's a good head coach. I think he needs more of a team, in my opinion. Liam Cohen, unknown. Something's telling me that Liam Cohen is going to be better than Ben Johnson. I don't know what it is. He's a weird fella based off that Duval clip. But I feel like those weirdos, they're wired differently, and he might actually have the craziness to be a demon as a coach. And he did a great job as the OC of Tampa. We'll see what he can do with Trevor Lawrence. If he can get the Jags in the playoffs in a year or two, it'll be pretty good. But he's in the unknown tier. Kyle Shanahan choke. I'm sorry. I feel like I got to drop him from borderline elite. I have been saying for the longest damn time that Kyle Shanahan is overrated. Where do you guys want to put him? I'd put him here, but if you want to put him here, I don't necessarily hate it. Let's be realistic. What is the major, as a coach? I get Shanahan has the resume, but I don't think there's that big of a difference from like a Shanahan and a KOC, personally. I wonder what Malik thinks about this. Ben Johnson P. It's funny how Ben Johnson's now enemy number one in Detroit. That is funny. Shanahan, not going to shit on him too much, but it's a similar problem I have with Dan Campbell, those late game situations and big game moments. Shanahan being overrated. Yeah, that facts, Malik. That is a fact. The blown lead in the Super Bowl, to his team not knowing the rules in overtime, to taking the ball in first in overtime, blowing a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter of the Rams, blowing a huge lead as an OC with the Falcons. He's had his really bad moments as far as getting over the hump, but he is one of the best offensive minds in the sport. He has made it work with mediocre quarterback play for a lot of his career. And he has had a lot of success in the league when his team's been healthy. So I'm not going to take that away from him. But I'm going to put him here for now. I think Jim Harbaugh is a better head coach right now. I think if you put Jim Harbaugh on the Niners, I think they would have a ring by now with that team. I haven't seen Jim Harbaugh really mess up games, at least not recently, like I have with Kyle Shanahan. I still can't go over the fact that he took the ball first in overtime against Patrick Mahomes. What are you doing? Giving Patrick Mahomes four downs. I don't get that. I'm not a fan of that at all. Matt LaFleur. I'm not really doing order, but we'll put Matt LaFleur in great. Yeah, borderline elite to me is like top 5, 6. I don't think Dan Campbell's top 6. I think he's top 10. Matt LaFleur. I think he's great. Again, similarly, he's like a Temu Shanahan. Just cannot get over the hump in big games. And he had Aaron Rodgers, like elite level quarterback play, and he still had many games where it just wasn't clicking in the playoffs. But he is a very good offensive mind. Like a lot of the, I feel like I've said that like 20 times. He is a pretty good offensive mind. I do think him making it work with a younger quarterback in Jordan Love was very good. A lot of people expect him to kind of take a dip. I still need to show. He needs to show me a bit more in the playoffs. I'm kind of iffy on LaFleur. I think he's like a top 10-ish head coach. I would prefer Kevin O'Connell over LaFleur. But I think LaFleur is a good coach. Nothing special. He's there. Then Mike McDonald. I'm going to put Mike McDonald in solid for now. Yeah, he does seem to get easily wound up a little bit. MCD hasn't at that level. Yeah, not quite yet. Low end, great. I agree with that, Tyler. Where was I at? Mike McDonald, I think he has the makings of a great coach. He's a really good defensive mind. I just need to see him put it together more. And he's only had 1 year, and they were a solid team. And I'm putting him in the solid tier. I think that is fair. And you know what? For Mike McDaniel, what was it that Xavier wanted us to put? Let me find it. Xavier wanted me to create our own tier for Mike McDaniel. So it smells like piss. Well, let's do that. There we go. Mike McDaniel. There we go. Mike Tomlin, great. I'm not putting him in borderline elite. Fucking put it wherever. I'm not putting Mike Tomlin. It's tough to judge Mike Tomlin nowadays because the fact that he still gets his teams over 500 damn near every single year is impressive, but it feels like the Geek Squad tier, drunk geek. I love Mike Tomlin, but I'm just sick of the Steelers in general. And the man just refuses to get a quarterback. But the fact that he's installed a great culture there and he wins 10 games somehow every single year. no matter what the quarterback is, which is impressive. But I feel like he's stalled. Similar to John Harbaugh, except he don't have the quarterback. He's just stalled. So I don't think I can call him borderline elite right now. I just can't. If he gets Rodgers, that'll rise them up from 10-7 all the way up to 9-8. Mike Vrabel, great. Mike Vrabel's a great coach. Overachieved really with overachieved with that Titans team. What he did with Ryan Tannehill was crazy. Should not have gotten fired from Tennessee at all. I don't think that was right. He's one of the best defensive mind. He's a defensive mind, right? Am I tripping? He played defense, so he should be a defensive mind. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. Yeah, that was silly. That was some silly stuff. Mike Vrabel, Cam Ward, that may have been pretty fun to watch. Yeah, I love Mike Vrabel. I think he's going to be a really, really good coach for the Patriots. Made it to an AFC Championship game with Ryan Tannehill. Oh, boy. Nick Sirianni. God. My, oh, my. This is such a tough one to do, Nick Sirianni. Do we put him here or do we put him in great? Resume-wise, he's borderline elite. Like, resume-wise, he's 100% here. But is he a better coach than, like, a Kevin O'Connell? Like, X's and O's. You just give him the same situation. He doesn't get in the way in big moments, which is good. And the guy's won. He has a Super Bowl championship. He's been to 2 Super Bowls. He's won a lot of games, and that's what counts as a head coach. I could see the argument for borderline elite. Really, really good. But I'll put him at the top of great for now. What do you guys think? Malik thinks he's in great. I would put him in either great or borderline elite. It's a tough one because I don't think he's that good of an offensive. Like, he's not running the show offensively. You know? How about the Ryan Day of the NFL? Vrabel and Campbell is a close ad. That is true. I think great. Okay, we'll put Nick the Dick there. Nick the Dick Sirianni. Pete Carroll, great. I feel like we're putting too many people in this great tier. Might even move some people up. I said this was top 10. We've got like 10 of them here. But yeah, Pete Carroll's great. Yeah. Yeah, that's a fair point. Good tier. Let's try that. Geez, we got 3 of the same color. Hold on, let me change these colors real quick. Oh. Hold on, fellas. Let me cook. Jeez. We might, yeah, a good tier is, yeah, that's fair. We'll move. Vrabel versus Dan. Probably Dan. I might move LaFleur and Ryans down to here. That might be what I'm going to do. That might be what I do here. I might put LaFleur and Ryans there. I think Pete Carroll's worthy of being in gray, and I think Dan Quinn is worthy of being in gray. I'm going to keep Tomlin up in gray for now. Um, hopefully the lighting's good. Raheem Morris, below average. Don't care what you say. Raheem Morris cannot. He was a great DC with the Rams. I got love for him. Very good DC. Until he learns how to properly call a timeout and manage a game properly, then I can't put him anywhere higher than below average. Let's all hope and pray to the Lord that Anakin gets his remote back. Sean McDermott. Sean McDermott to me is just good. The fact that he hasn't made it to the Super Bowl yet with Josh Allen is kind of LaFleur-esque with Rodgers, you know? Like the defense, he's a defensive-minded coach, and his defense in every playoffs just seems to fall apart. He does win a lot of games, and you got to give him credit for that. But I think he's just good right now. I got to see more out of him in the playoffs. Sean McVay. If you want Andy Reid to be in his own tier, I get it. I do personally believe that Sean McVay. Oh, Anakin found his remote. I think Sean McVay is an elite head coach. I think he's the second best coach in the league. If you want to put him on board, if we could have Andy Reid as our own tier, but I do think McVay is an elite coach, in my opinion. If you want to have Andy Reid in his own tier, I wouldn't hate it. But I think McVay is an elite coach. I think he's the second best coach in football. I don't know, like, who else do you put ahead of McVay right now? Like Jim Harbaugh? Not right now. I wouldn't put John Harbaugh. Definitely not Shanahan right now. I know for a fact that ain't Shanahan. Yeah, minimum top 3. I think when you look at, okay, so because Anakin said that, I'm going to put McVay here. I trust Malik and Tyler's judgment on this. Yeah, you can call me biased all you want. I don't care. I think he's the second best coach in the league. I think when you combine the resume he has with the offensive mind that he is, with the motivator that he is, I don't hate that take, Tyler. I don't hate that. I think he's just the full package, and I think he's shown a lot. He's shown a different side of his coaching ability these past 2 years, where the team has started 3-6, they've started 1-4, and he still managed to lead them to the playoffs. And I do believe that's because he is a very underrated motivator, and he kept that locker room intact, and they were able to recover the season. I do think his play calling last year got a little bit dry, but he's won a Super Bowl. He's been to 2. He's consistently won in his career. I love Sean McVay. Don't know. Hopefully he's enjoying his life somewhere. Bless that man. I love Sean McVay. I think he's the second best head coach in football. Sean Payton, probably great. Won a Super Bowl with the Saints. Yeah, I do agree with that. I think he's very underrated as a motivator. Payton, and great, very good offensive mind. Made it work with made a pretty good offense with Bo Nix last year, which that's not a shade of Bo Nix, but rookie quarterback Sean Payton really did put him in a great position to succeed. Won a Super Bowl with the Saints. I think he's a top 10 head coach. Great offensive mind. Yeah, I don't think there's much to say there. That's Shane Steichen. Steichen, for now, isn't solid. I love the offensive mind, the offensive brain that he is. He did great with Philly. But as a head coach, I feel like he's in that solid tier with guys like Daboll, Stefanski, McDonald. Just needs to get more results. And I do think that he needs to have better quarterback play, which isn't his fault. But I think he's in that solid tier. I think he needs to do a bit more to be in the good tier, Shane Steichen. I think he's got a ton of potential. But yeah, teams need to win a little more. Todd Bowles is good. He's a good defensive brain, good defensive mind. Team wins the division every year. I don't know if they're going to get over the hump with him as a coach. I'm not sure if he's that guy to really get them over the hump. But he's a good coach to me. And then lastly, Zach Taylor. I think Zach Taylor is just solid. And that's why I think I don't think Zach Taylor is a very good coach. I get he's been to a Super Bowl, been to an AFC Championship, but none of them, Anakin. Fucking none of them. That's what I think with Todd Bowles. For me, Zach Taylor is just solid. I think he'll get another chance in the league, Phil, as a head coach. Great DC, and the Jets kind of did him dirty a little bit. I think he'll get another chance for sure. I'm not a huge fan of him as a head coach, but he'll definitely get another shot. Zach Taylor, I'm not a fan. He's not the best offensive mind. He doesn't manage games well. There just hasn't been much since those 2 years, and I give more credit to Burrow for that. So, yeah, just the late game situations, the one that stands out against Baltimore early in the year, where you have the ball at like the 40 and you run it 3 straight times when you could throw with Joe Burrow and end up selling for a 56-yard field goal that Evan McPherson misses. Just terrible game management. So he did peak. So yeah, that is our head coach's tier list. I don't mind this. I think it's a good one. I think that is a good one. I'm happy with that. I'm going to, yeah, it's an offensive league for sure. I'm going to turn some other lights on. It's getting a bit dark, so give me a sec. Is that better? All right, let me see if I can turn that one on. Okay, that looks a bit better. Kind of. I think it's a pretty good list. That was good. Well, we got about 15 minutes left. I got another part of the show that I had planned. There's a quarterback that I saw on they were talking about him on a couple sports shows. Mr. Baker Mayfield, and Lucas did a Would You Rather. Lucas did a Would You Rather David Montgomery edition. I thought we'd do a Would You Rather Baker Mayfield edition for the next 15 minutes of the show. All right, that's what we're going to use to take up the last 15 minutes. I want to see where you guys are at with Baker Mayfield because I think this guy is very, 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 very underrated. A rear light is not a good background. I don't enjoy it down here either. I prefer my other one, but I'm trying to see if this helps my Wi-Fi work faster. That's the only reason I'm here. But let's do this. I want to see where you guys rank Baker Mayfield because I think Baker Mayfield is criminally underrated and slept on. We're doing a Would You Rather Baker Mayfield. Put your answers in the chat. Baker Mayfield, we got 10 of these. Baker Mayfield or Geno Smith. Need a fill-in light for your face. Yeah, hold up. That's better. Facts. You guys know ball. Baker. Facts. All right. Glad we're on the same page. I think Geno's solid, but Baker, bro. The answer to me is Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield. Oh, shit. Baker Mayfield or Kyler Murray. Shows, bro. Kyler Murray or Baker? I would take Baker, personally. I would go Baker. Love the talent of Kyler, but he's not consistent enough. We agree, Baker. There we go. I like it, fellas. Hey, are you heightest, Anakin? Shocking. Baker's a mobile Goff. I think they play quite differently. I'd say Baker's like if Johnny Manziel was actually committed and better at football. I think Goff and Baker have different styles. I would say CJ Stroud's like a mobile Goff. Anakin hates short people, confirmed. You hate to see it. All right, next up. Baker Mayfield or Brock Purdy. It's a close one. Niner fans will tell you it's Purdy. I think it's Baker. Give me Baker. He was balling without Evans and Godwin in the lineup. He is. He does have that bozo gene though. So does Goff though. So Baker and Goff are quite similar as far as where I rank them. And like career paths. Baker stays healthy. He does as well. Yeah. Baker. I don't disagree with you. This is a fair point. That one's close with Baker. Man, we're all on the same page here. Let's go. Jay Cruisin. What's up? My G. Jay Cruisin in the chat. Make sure you like the stream, Cruisin. And if you haven't liked the stream, be sure to do it. All right, next up, we're doing a Would You Rather Baker Mayfield edition, Cruisin. Next up, Baker Mayfield or Dak Prescott? Gimme Baker. Gimme the Bake Show. My G. We got 8 of them in here now. Like the streamer, Baker's going to truck you. Yeah. Give me Baker. Fact. Baker got that dog in him that Dak Prescott does not have. And he's got a much stronger arm. I actually think at this point in their careers, Baker is more mobile than Dak. Dak doesn't win playoff games. Yeah, Baker's actually very good in the playoffs. Yeah, Rain Dakota had his moment in the sun. Yeah, in a clutch game time situation, absolutely give me Baker. 100% give me Baker. Absolutely give me Baker in that spot. Okay, next up. Oh boy. Baker Mayfield or Jared Goff? I should have saved this one for last. Baker. Oh, my man. Goff. That's what a shocker. You lean Goff. I lean Baker personally. I think Baker's done a bit more with less over the last couple of years. He's more mobile. He's got the arm. He's better in the playoffs. I might lean Baker here, boys. I ain't gonna lie. Their production's similar. So I think when the production's similar, you kind of look at the player and which skill set you prefer. Do you prefer the pure pocket passer, the guy who's more accurate, the guy who makes better decisions? I like the gunslinger in Baker Mayfield. I mean, Baker did beat him this year. So Baker beat him. That's the attitude, Cruising. There we go. He does have more moxie. He did beat him in the playoffs. That's fair. But Brock Purdy beat Jared Goff in the playoffs. You know? Yeah, there we go. Goff has good. Yeah, that is true. Baker definitely is more manic as a quarterback. A bit more accomplished. That is fair. He definitely is. I mean, Purdy. Okay, so Anakin, is Brock Purdy better than Jared Goff? I mean, Baker's individual playoff performances. I think that's a fair take. Oh, he definitely does get sacked. Well, he doesn't get sacked that much because he's behind that offensive line. But Baker's offensive line is really good. So I'm not gonna penalize Goff because Baker's line is also really fucking good. I would say Eagles is the best, but Goff's definitely top 3. We got 9 people in here. Prettier than Goff. Um, that's a coin flip. He does stay healthy. Both of them do stay healthy. If they both have the same line, that's what I'm saying. I've seen Baker in 2023. Baker was put together a really good year without any type of run game, and this year he made it work when Evans and Godwin were in and out of the lineup. And he's more mobile, so he can make plays for himself. That's why I lean Baker. Goff is a very accurate passer. And the man. Coin flip is right. Yeah, that's fair. All right, let's move on. Baker Mayfield or Jordan Love. I'm a big fan of Jordan Love myself, but I'm taking Baker. He's really good. He's a really good playmaker. Give me Baker over Love. I like Jordan Love a lot. I think he's gonna be really good, but I would take Baker right now. Damn, what'd he do to you? What'd he do to you, brother? Baker Love's brutal. He did get fucking hurt a few times this year. Baker. Yeah. Right now it's Baker. I like Jordan Love's potential a lot, but he's got to put it together a bit more. Baker. All right, there we go. All right. Yeah, I think Love's talent is really good, but Baker's just been more consistent. That's your thing. My thing is F the Niners. Fuck the Niners. I don't even have Sam Darnold on this. Would you rather? He ain't worth the time. All right, Baker Mayfield or Jalen Hurts. Now we're getting spicy. Now we're getting fucking spicy, mate. Baker Mayfield or Jalen Hurts. I feel like I gotta go Hurts. I feel like Hurts. I think Baker did have the better year. He has been better the last 2 years, but Hurts' resume is pretty stacked. Got a Super Bowl MVP, shows up in the biggest moments, is also a dual threat quarterback. Hurts, I agree. I would go Hurts. Hurts because he's more clutch. Yeah, he is one of the most clutch quarterbacks in the league. I'd go Hurts as well. I don't necessarily hate that. Do I think if Baker's on the Eagles, he's cooking? Absolutely, but Jalen Hurts won Super Bowl MVP, so you can't really take that away from him. All right, let's do this. Baker Mayfield or C.J. Stroud? This one is tough for me. This one is a coin flip because I love C.J. Stroud. I think he's getting super, super underrated right now. Anakin is an appreciator of butt cheeks. But yeah, this one's tough. I might lean Stroud, but I could see the argument for Baker. It is tough, isn't it? It is tough. I love Stroud. I think Stroud's got potential, man. Gonna say CJ. Yeah, I'd agree. I agree with Tyler. They're very neck and neck. I think Stroud's more accurate. I think Stroud has also very good creation out of structure. And I just think Stroud, as far as composure, is a level above Baker. You know? And Stroud did show me some poise in those playoffs. Like, he turned it on. He wasn't elite in the playoffs, but against the Chiefs, I thought he was actually really good. So I'd lean CJ here. He does show flashes of being really fucking good. He's just got to put it together. I'm going to lean Stroud, yeah. I think you put Stroud and Baker in an equal situation. I lean Stroud. All right, we got 2 more. Baker, I don't hate it, Phil. All right, 2 more. Baker Mayfield or Matt Stafford. Baker, production-wise, has been better, but I still would go Matt Stafford because I think he's a superior talent. Baker does have a lot more creation, but I think Stafford in the playoffs, Stafford in big games, I'm still taking Matty Ice. And I'm glad the chat agrees with me. I don't think Baker's that far away, but I would go with Matt Stafford. I would take Stafford. Definitely no bias at all. Because they've both been Rams quarterbacks. They've both been in the same quarterback room, huh? Baker, younger, more mobile. That is true. But I do think Stafford still has that special arm. All right. Now, we got a different style of would you rather. Okay? Because this one, if we're doing it based off right now, it's obviously Baker. But I have a narrative about the New England Patriots I'm running with. And Drake May has been the center of that narrative. So for the next 2 to 3 years, we're wrapping up. Are you taking Baker Mayfield or Drake May? For like the next year or two. We'll do next 3 years. Baker Mayfield or Drake May. I'm a Drake May fan. I'm a Drake May fan. I'm taking May in the long run. Baker's better right now. But in 3 years, shit. Might go May. I think May's going to be in that Justin Herbert tier. Like where Herbert and Daniels are right now. Drake May's going to get there. Drake May's absolutely going to get there. Yeah. That's fair. I don't hate people saying Baker. I love Drake May. All right. Well, that was a fun show. I enjoyed that. Hopefully the Wi-Fi was good. We'll do a quick 5-minute mailbag, and then we'll get out of here. He could be more aggressive, Herbert. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, the Empire's back, Anakin. The Empire is back. Kendrick over Drake. That is a fact. We'll do a quick mailbag, and then we'll get out of here. This has been a fun show. 4+ years? Yeah, I agree. I think May has a higher ceiling than Baker. We'll do a quick mailbag, and then we'll get out of here. Appreciate you, Phil. My man. Yeah, especially Jeff. Only difference is the Emperor hasn't returned. Yeah. Not yet. Next show is Friday, my man. Should be Friday. Peace, balls. Peace. My back, Justin Fields or Cam. Give me Cam. See you later, Cruising. Love you. Give me Cam Ward. I'll be much more polished from the pocket. I've always loved Justin Fields, but feel like he'll be a below average starter. But yeah, give me Cam. Give me Cam Ward. I'm out. Need some sleep. See you later, Anakin. Appreciate you tuning in. No worries. Yeah, give me Cam Ward. I think he's an offensive rookie of the year finalist this year. And I think Cam Ward, give him a few years, he'll be in that top 10. Maybe even 2 years. Maybe even this year. Who knows? Cam Ward's going to be really good in the league, I think. Will Cade Klubman be a franchise quarterback? I need to watch a bit more of him, but he was good at Clemson this past year. I think I low-key prefer him over Nussmeier. But Klubnik, future Ram quarterback, maybe? Could be. He could be. With AG, could become special. Maybe. Justin Fields had so much fucking potential, man. Ugh, that hurt my heart to see it go that way. Great show, fellas. All right, well, if you've not got any more mailbag questions, then we will wrap it up here. My guy. Appreciate you, Phil. You're the man. All you guys. Fantasy football, who you taking first? Gotta be Chase. It's gotta be Jamar Chase. Either Chase or Saquon. But probably Chase. Probably Chase after this past year, I'd say. That's what I would do. All right. Agree. Nice. Okay, I will get you guys out of here. This has been a fun show. I'm working on getting some special guests on the show soon, so make sure you stay tuned for that. All right. Got a zig whenever no zags. Yeah, I'm pretty decent at it. We should create a fantasy league of us, like the Ball Don't Lie Fantasy Football League. Appreciate you, man. Great show. Love the QB list. My man, appreciate you always tuning in, Tyler. Means a lot. It means a lot. It means a lot. All right. Well, if we don't have any more mailbag questions, then I will get out of here. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Make sure you like the stream again if you haven't. I will be back on Friday. Make sure you tune in then. Same time, 10 p.m. Eastern. I will see you guys on Friday. Love you guys. Peace.